LivePerson's board communication and how that folds into the turnaround strategy. As we approach the annual general meeting, AGM, it's a good time to revisit the LPSN board's communication style and place it in the context of the company's current turnaround stage. Today, we'll explore how boards typically communicate during a turnaround, why LPSN adopts a conservative approach, and what this means for the future. So let's break it all down. Conservative guidance is a classic turnaround tactic. In a turnaround, companies like LivePerson often set modest, achievable expectations. Sometimes this is called conservative guidance. This isn't necessarily lowballing to mislead. Rather, it's a strategic choice. Why? Because it buys two critical things that management can influence quickly: credibility. Meeting or exceeding these modest targets builds trust with investors, and time, because it provides breathing room to address challenges like customer churn, debt renegotiation, and investor skepticism, all of which were plaguing LivePerson. It's also true that setting realistic benchmarks is smart. When LivePerson reaches or surpasses the high end of these expectations, that creates a positive narrative and it signals internal confidence without over-promising. Also, it avoids the reputational damage of missing that target during a volatile quarter. In a turnaround, defense is key. Bearish news during a downward price trend hits harder than bullish news, so prioritizing stability first makes sense. Beyond beating expectations, if we dig a little bit deeper, beating low expectations is a really good start, but it's not the same as proving operational excellence or sustainable growth. To understand that real story, we have to dig deeper into the numbers and ask key questions, including: are revenue declines slowing or are they gaining pace? How are trends in customer churn and the average value per customer evolving? Are new clients or logos offsetting the losses from those legacy customers? The deep research report on the Discord dives into this, and we've visualized the key metrics using various charts, including a waterfall chart, to highlight the churn and the impact on the bottom line, number of new clients needed to balance out the losses, and trends in customer value. And these deep insights show whether the fundamentals are truly turning the corner. There's also the role of debt and the path forward. If LivePerson is prioritizing defense and fundamentals are improving at the same time, what comes next might be your question. A critical factor is that debt and its renegotiation schedule. We expect here some movement over the next 12 months. Without progress on debt, modest guidance could persist. And why would this matter then? Bullish news in a bullish market amplifies impact. Ideally, LPSN resolves its debt issues after setting this modest guidance, and that could pave the way for an upward revision. Upward revision, that's raising forward guidance, and that's a very powerful signal. They show that the company is not just beating its targets, but that internal progress is real, whether through better margins or cost efficiency or customer retention. This is especially crucial for LPSN, given those churn challenges. Confidence in retaining customers or winning new ones, backed by upward revisions, is much stronger than simply beating the bar that they set themselves, already quite modestly targeted. It's the difference between tactical optimism, which is a cautious win, and strategic overperformance, which is a sign that the engine is running better than expected. Where does LivePerson stand today then in this spectrum? Right now, LPSN remains in that conservative stage. They're not quite sandbagging, but guidance is modest until they can confidently replace legacy customers with better long-term fits. Progress is visible. Gross margins have improved, and they are navigating that debt maturity window. More news on that soon, I expect. However, headline figures still show that drop, and they haven't yet become a company that's achieving profitability or raising guidance. If the customer base stabilizes by the second half of 2025, which we're approaching, as management has hinted, then we might see upward revisions next year. That could mark a significant turning point in the stock, especially if prices are already moving. And they so often do move before a turnaround in the fundamental. So trying to catch it early is nearly impossible unless you first understand the communication and put it in the context of the turnaround. Beating conservative guidance is good. Revising positive guidance upward is better. LPSN not there yet, but they are transitioning. What to look for then as an investor or a trader in LivePerson as we look ahead throughout the rest of 2025 and beyond? The key signals of a successful turnaround would include revenue and margin beats with upwards possibly in 2026. You've got to look for consistent outperformance. Following that, you would likely see the raised guidance, not just reiterations of the same targets. We'd also keep an eye out for a shift in management tone and watch for moves from a cautious to a confident language. Analyst estimates also would likely rise around this period. Pay attention if analyst projections trend higher over consecutive quarters. Currently, they range from 80 cents to $1. When all of these different signals align, that's a confirmation in itself that the turnaround has teeth. And it's proof that LivePerson is not just stabilizing current stage, but building momentum, which is useful for future sustainable growth. So a turnaround in progress is what we're looking at here based on the communication style from the board. LivePerson's conservative communication reflects that deliberate strategy to navigate what is obviously a challenging condition. By setting modest goals, they're buying time and credibility, and that allows them to tackle the churn, renegotiate that debt, and overcome a significant degree of investor skepticism. While LivePerson are a fair distance from raising guidance and not yet achieving that level of profitability we'd like to see, we can say that we have seen improvements in the margins, and they have done work on renegotiating a big tranche of that debt. So if stabilization then takes hold by late 2025, as we expect, we could see a shift towards confidence and then potential changes in that language from the board. These would be true signs that the turnaround is working. So stay informed. If you've got access to the paid side of Discord, then you can check out that equity report. Stay tuned, dig into those numbers, get in touch with me on that thread. It's a fantastic resource. If you've not yet upgraded to the Rocket Crop Discord paid side, put it in your diary for the next time you're able to make that decision. And together we'll track whether a LivePerson's story evolves from tactical defense to strategic success.